Hi, everybody, and welcome to this episode of the Whole Woman Show. It's Tuesday again. I keep telling people it seems like Tuesdays be running these days. I don't know. When you have something to do, it always catches up to you. I am so excited about today. I have with me Miss Sherika Brown. And Sherika is one of those persons I keep saying to people, we have some of the most amazing women in this country. Sherika is one of those amazing women. I am going to go to my commercial break and I will be right back after these messages and let Sherika tell you all about who she is. We'll be right back.
You always going so fast, burning it up. You got you running like that, right past what you want. So do like I do, and move like I move. Feel that magic down in your shoes. That's why I'm walking like this. That's why I'm walking like this. Yeah. You always moving so fast, breaking your neck. You've been running so far, but you ain't got there yet. So do what I do.
Hi, and we're back. And joining me today is Miss Sherika Brown. Sherika is an author. She's a businesswoman. She's a minister of the gospel, and yes, all of those things rolled into one. Believe it or not, and looking fabulous while she's doing it too. Sherika, it's so good to have you joining me on the show today.
It's good to be with you today, Regina.
One of the things that I tell people all the time when I do the show, fascinated at how many we have some of the most fantastic women in this country. We just have to get ourselves pushed way out of this country around the world because we have so much to offer. We have amazing things to offer to people around the world. Now,
I totally
when
agree
I
with
wanted
you.
to, yeah, when we talked early, when you and I talked about you coming on the show, I wanted you to be on the show because you had an event last week that I wanted you to talk about on the show because I thought it was so amazing. But I was a day late and a dollar short, but not for me because I have the platform and you could still talk about it and women can still get the amazing information that you had on your platform last week. Let's talk about that event that you had last week.
Okay, on last week, I had a 3-day masterclass series called Gifted But Undervalued, where it talked about individuals who know that they have something special, that you're gifted, that you're good at something. You know that God has blessed you with something unique, but you have been an individual that's been dumbing it down, playing it
Mhm.
small, and you've been discounting yourself. And not only have you been discounting yourself, the relationships in your life, whether it's your job, whoever you're connected to, you've just been discounted. And so it was really how to help the individuals in the class to transition from being a person who is downplaying their value, downplaying what God has uniquely blessed them with. And so I really focused on helping individuals to, day one, we talked about being gifted and undervalued. Day two, we talked about how to identify what your value is, knowing what it is that you bring to the table, know how you enrich the lives of people around you, whether it's in business, whether it's at work, whether it's your family, just knowing what is so special about you. So I took them through some questions of helping them to discover themselves. And the last day was day three. We talked about how to own your value. And so we talked about how to be confident in yourself, how to show up. how to let people know what it is that you have to
What you bring to
offer.
the table. That's right.
Let people know, because we have been trained to it's a false humility. We've been
Yes.
trained to downplay ourselves, and like when we, let's say, when we showcase who we are, people think you're bragging, you're showing off. But listen,
Yes.
what you've been given to serve others. And that was the emphasis, that the thing that is unique and special and great about you, it's been given to you to serve others. And so if you don't tell people what you have, no one will know
How
how
they
you
can
can make
know?
them better.
How
No
they
one
can
can know
know?
how you can improve them.
That's it.
So you gotta own your value. And I
Hmm.
gave them an example. I told them a story how a while back, about a year or two ago, I was sitting in a meeting at work, actually, with a consultant, and he was reviewing some work he had done. And he straight up told me, he said, Sharika, you're doing excellent work. You're good at what you do. But he said, guess what? Nobody knows it.
Yeah.
He said, I have to show you. I am going to have to teach you how to show up and show your value without coming
Mhm.
across like you're being arrogant or full of
Mm.
yourself. And so that was a major turning point for me, because this was someone who didn't know me very well, but they recognized that I had something that people needed, but I wasn't letting them know. I wasn't showing up. And so that
Mm.
is where this whole series, being gifted and undervalued, came for me, because I know there are a lot of people out there, especially women, who
Yeah.
are out there. We just dumbing down, we playing small, because they say you're gonna intimidate people,
People, you worry about
the
what people think.
insecurity, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So all of that.
Yes.
So I really wanted to help, and I think we miss out on the opportunity for people to benefit from us when we
Mm.
don't value ourselves and we don't show up. So that was the gist of the masterclass last week.
Well, and you, even what you said, it isn't even about the people missing out on what we have to offer to them. It's about us missing out on what needs to come to us too, Sharika. Because if you don't say who you are, then nobody knows to get for you to be able to receive what they may have for you, or a position, or something that you someplace you need to be. You lose out on all of that because we're afraid. And I like to stick a pin in something that sticks out. And when you said there are a lot of women out there, especially um, in our age bracket, I think because we've been taught to just be like quiet and domicile and just move about and do what we do, almost to the point where to our own detriment, because we keep everything balled up. And I met a lady a couple of weeks ago, and she was like so like in herself. And she and I spoke, and let me tell you something. She, I spoke to her, and now you can't even. I don't want to call her name because I don't want to call her name, but she's like right now she's all over Facebook doing her thing, and she didn't do her
That's
pictures, and
good.
it's amazing how sometimes you just need one word from you or me to say to them that you're okay. So that
Yes.
masterclass, I really know that I believe that that masterclass was something to behold. Um,
Trust me, it was.
I believe that because I know that you have a lot to offer. You're the author of several books, of two workbooks. Let's talk a little bit about one of the books that I love so much, Discovering Me. That one, I love the name of that book. Let's talk about how that book came about.
Well, that book was some time in the making. I've been doing purpose sessions, helping individuals to discover purpose for a while, and it was on my heart to really do a workbook that takes people through the process of answering certain questions that will
Mm,
help them to understand who they are, help you to understand why you were born. The book would take you through your childhood experiences, because even from childhood it reveals some of what you've been born to do. And so
mm,
I had this book where it talks about your passions, your gifts, your skills, your personality, um, what do you want to be, what you were born to do. And I just had it sitting there, and I had promised to release this book from, I think, last year May. But when the pandemic came, and of course, we were home, and you couldn't go anywhere, you were
right,
locked down.
right.
Listen, all I had was time in the night. So one night I put that book together. I shot it over to my my graphic artist, and he did it for me. And so, my burden has always been helping individuals to discover purpose, because I think
Mm,
that has been one of the things that has really impacted and changed my life. I don't think any message has shifted and changed my life like the message of purpose, like really
yeah.
understanding what I've been born to do, recognizing who I am, what God has graced me with. And I recognize that a challenge among most women, we struggle with grave insecurity, we compete with each other, we're
Mm,
threatened. And that is birthed out of a sense of purposelessness. A lot of women, because when you don't know your purpose, you're always threatened by someone who does. You're always threatened by
yeah.
someone who knows who they are. And so when you know your purpose, you recognize that, okay, Regina may be great, but I'm great too.
Yes,
Like she
exactly.
she got it
Exactly.
going on, but I got it going on too. She has some great things that she's doing. She's making a difference. She's making an impact. But her being who she is doesn't take away
Take
from me
away
being
from
who
who
I
you
am.
are.
And
Yes,
so,
yes.
I really did. That book really was a baby for me. And I was so glad I had the opportunity to release it at the beginning of the pandemic. And so I love it. I tell people all the time, one of the greatest things that you can do for yourself is discover you. Because when you
Mm,
discover you, you know what are the best decisions to make, you know what jobs to take, you know what businesses to go, and you even know the relationships that work for you.
that's
You
it.
know the people who don't fit you.
Yes.
You know who you ain't gonna gel well with.
Mm, mm,
You just know when opportunities you're able to discern the opportunities for
mm.
you when they present themselves, because you know yourself. And so that is one of the reasons why I really released that book, and that book is really, really one of my favorite, because I
Mm.
want people to know who they are. Listen, being here on Slack, every time we wake up in the
That- That's now this technology is doing it too. And like she say, we're not here on Slack. That's what I want people to understand. You have a purpose. And once you get that, you become whole, especially as a woman. I'm gonna give Sherika a little bit of time to come back in because Lord, this technology and this thing that's happening around here these days, I don't know what to say about it. But at the end of the day, um, we're gonna keep talking, and I'm gonna give her an opportunity to come in. Sharika, if you can hear me, if you need to exit the studio, come back in again, and it'll probably we'll have it settled out by then. Just if you can exit and come back in. But what she's saying makes perfect sense because if you know who you are as an individual, nobody can ascribe to you who you're not. Because what happens is more times than not, when you don't know who you are, people try to tell you who you are. And the thing that Sharika's talking about us as women dumbing ourselves down and pretending as if we don't know who we are because we're afraid of how people are going to feel or we're going to hurt people's feelings and all that. It's time in this season of our lives, if this pandemic hasn't taught us anything, if this hasn't taught us anything about how short life is and how life is not promised to us, we need to get ourselves together and get ourselves in a place where we come to find out who we are and become the best version of ourselves so that we could do what we're meant to do here on this earth for others. That's the most important thing, and I think that's one of the things that Sharika's trying to bring to the table. What I'm going to do, I'm going to take a break. Again, technology. I'm going to take a break, and I'm going to try and help Sharika get back in the studio, and I'll be right back after these messages. Be right back. Hi, everybody. Sharika's back, and I like you come back looking prettier than before you left, girlfriend. All those colors are on point. But I was just reiterating, with technology, it does what it does, and it's live technology, so we just can work with
Listen,
it.
yes,
And we know the enemy been fighting me and you from before now.
you know,
So, like I like I say, you have something to say, and it's clear he don't want it to be said. Okay, so that's where
Obviously
we going
not.
with that. So, you were talking about the book, Discovering Me. I like what you said about us needing to know who we are, because one of the things that I know for a fact, Sharika, is if you don't know who you are, somebody will tell you, and they ain't gonna tell you, and they ain't gonna tell you the right thing.
They ain't
So
gonna
at
tell
the
you
end of the
anything.
day, at the end of the day, I think it's valuable, that persons come, women, especially like I was saying earlier, come to understand who they are, because in this, with all that's going on for this entire 2020, if you haven't learned anything, you're missing something. Because if you are hiding yourself and dumbing down yourself, you now need to come and bring your light to the table, so that other people could be blessed by it, and their lives can be changed. This is the time for us to be everything that we're meant to be, especially as women.
I
I
totally
just
agree.
I love the book. I love the concept of the book. Tell us some of the things that's in the book, some of the questions that you have to answer, in the book.
Okay, so of course we talk about like what are you amazing at? What do people always demand from you? That's the section on being gifted. We
Mm,
I also talked about like when you were a child, what were some of the things that you loved to do? What were some of the things that you were reprimanded or scolded for? Um, then we talked about your passions, like what is it that you just you read about all the
mm,
time? You are um 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 you're researching, what are the problems that you are burdened to solve, like
mm,
what is some of the areas of expertise, what are people always calling Regina for, what do they always need from Regina, those
mm,
kind of things. And we talk about like your personality, like what how would people describe you, and then we talk about like what kinds of people are attracted to you, what are they drawn to, what do people love about you. We also talk about what people hate about you. We talk
yes.
about what makes people jealous of you.
Mm,
We talk about all of that in the book, and then we also talk about like before you die, what is it that you would like to
Ju-
be known for? Um,
Powerful.
what are some of the things that you would like to accomplish? I asked the question in the book: if you found out that you had one more year to live, what are some of the things that you would want to do within that year? And
Mm,
so, and at the end of the book, we I asked you to write a purpose statement, which is a declaration of what it is that
mm.
you know that you are confident in that you were born to do. And so that's the workbook in a nutshell.
That sounds amazing. When you done go through that, it sounds like, if you don't come up with something, something wrong with you.
You got to come up with something,
you
because
you
those questions I did myself. The reason why I'm passionate about it is because I went through some of those questions. I developed those questions, and I answered some of those questions for myself, which is
mm,
why I'm so passionate about what I do right now,
mm,
because it's fueled by purpose.
yes,
And so sometimes people are doing things and they have no love for it. They have no
yeah,
passion for it, because you are out of unity with what you were really born to do.
created to do, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The thing about it is, there's a saying that goes, if when you find what it is you were born to do, it's never a day's work. You know what I mean?
Never. You
Never
loved
a
it.
day's work.
You loved it.
When I do this show, I look forward to Tuesdays, because I just love having the things that I could pull from the women, and the information, and the things that comes out of it, that helps the other women that watch the show. For me, if one person gets it, I would have done everything I was meant to do. That's how I feel about it.
Wow. Wow.
That's just one of your books. And see, the thing I love about you, Sharika, is you're diverse, and you're not afraid to just jump in and go to the places that you, and the thing that I love more than anything is that they're not the same thing, because people think you have to be doing this, and this have to stay in here, and this have to do that. We're going to get to the other stuff but let's talk about your next book, Passion to Profit. Now that one, I want all the women on this watching this show, and who's going to come to this page after the fact, to hear what you have to say, from passion to profit. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, that book really is, it's another workbook, and it takes you through the journey of also showing you how to monetize your purpose. And so it takes you, it helps you to again identify what your gifts are, what your skills are, what it is that you do well, what your hobbies are. It also talks about your areas of knowledge. What do you know more than anyone else? And it talks about how you can monetize those things. So so we're beyond just knowing what you're good at.
Mm.
Listen, we need some money here. We need to create some wealth.
Pay some bills.
We need to activate our potential. We got bills to pay. We got needs to meet. We want to enjoy a good life. It is what it
Yes,
is. And so
yes.
passion to profits is it's just about taking something you love, something you're passionate about, something you're good at, something you know well, and just finding ways to convert it into streams of income. And so with that book, you will find different ways to just take anything. It could be you may be a person who does hair. What are the different ways you could take your love for hair and convert
And
it into streams of income? So it's
mhm.
just finding multiple income streams. It's about finding multiple income streams using what it is that you love.
What I'm going to do is that book right there. I think is something that's needed in this season. And before we leave at the end of the show, I want you to give the women all of the information, and men if you're watching, because here at the Whole Woman we love men. That's a disclaimer I always put out. We love men. So we're going to let you give the information out so that they could be able to get that book, so that they could go through the workbook and narrow down what it is that they may be best at, or several things, because like you said, all of us have different giftings and different talents. We just haven't just found out yet how to make them make money. And the thing about it is, Sharika, is that there's people may be doing things one way, and people may be doing it here 100 different ways, but you could come up with a way that nobody's ever done it before. You could go outside in the yard and mash up flowers and make something for your hair, to grow your hair, or something. You just have to think about what it is and go through the process to get yourself to that point. And in this
Yes.
season right here, that book, I know that book is powerful, because
Yes.
in this season right here, it's definitely needed. I want to talk a little bit about you taking what you preach and putting it into practice, because you, my darling, have come up with a line of makeup that is just amazing. Your lipsticks and your eyeshadows. Your company is called Uptown Cosmetics. Let's talk about how you came to create that. And when I said before earlier about how you're doing different things, but they're different, but they're so, you don't have to stay in the same lane, because people try to make you think, again, going back to what people say, try to make you think that you have to, if you write or if you're a journalist, you can't come out of that field and do nothing else, because that's where you're supposed to say, don't put me in no box, don't try me,
No.
because I'll test you.
No.
Let's talk a little bit about Uptown Cosmetics.
Okay, Uptown Cosmetics is a makeup line that was birthed in my heart maybe about over 15 years ago or so. I remembered I was sitting in a class, the Leadership Training Institute session with Dr. Miles Monroe. And it was a session where he was teaching us about building vision, creating vision. He also talked about your gifts. And I remembered in this particular session, he was teaching us on how to just like this, take something that we love, something
Mhm,
that we're gifted at, and finding multiple ways to reproduce it.
mhm,
And so at that time, um, I used to do makeup. I used to love to do makeup. And I thought, wow, I thought, okay, I can create my own makeup line.
no, there
And
you
so
go.
it just came just like that. Get your products and name it, create your own makeup line. And there it was. And so it took a few years for me to get it off the ground.
Mm,
But nevertheless, it was just a baby for me, because
mhm.
I like makeup,
Makeup, yeah.
I like makeup. And so I tell them all the time, I say, listen, people saying ain't nobody wearing makeup under their mask. All right then, right under that mask, my lips are done.
To the night.
I just believe in having a pretty face. I love it well done, made up, and that may not be everyone's preference, everyone's cup of tea, but it's me. It's what I love. And so, I just, that's an example of taking something that I love. I love makeup. I love a pretty face. And so that's how Uptown Cosmetics came to be, just like that.
let's talk about, we're going to do, ladies who are watching the show now, if you want to be able to do, Sharika's going to be doing a giveaway. We're going to be doing a giveaway while we're doing the show, so you need to pay attention, because the questions are going to come out this, or the conversation that Sharika and I are having. And one of the things that I want to mention here is that I like the fact that when you're not teaching something that you've not proven. You
Right.
understand what I'm saying? It's like you're teaching what you know. So when you sit down and you speak to persons, or you teach a course or whatever it is that you do, when people get the workbook, it's from a place of passion and from a place of what you've already proven can be done. And
Right.
you said something that I want to stick a pin in, when you said it didn't happen overnight. It took you
No,
several years to
no,
get.
no,
It took you several years,
no.
but you
The
didn't
vision
give up.
intimidated me. It
Yeah, but
intimidated me.
yeah, but you didn't give up, and that's the
No,
most
I didn't.
important thing that we need to let people understand. Some vision, some things you can do, and you can do it overnight. You can do it in a matter of minutes. But some things you are going to have to persevere and go through what you need to go through to come to the end of it. Sometimes God does that too, Sharika. Don't you think? Because He wants you to be prepared when you get to the end for what is coming at the end.
hmm One of the things I'll always remember, Dr. Miles used to say, he used to say that every true vision will be tested for authenticity. And so, if you want to know if that vision or if that dream or that thing that you wanted to do, if it's something that is real, listen, you're going to go through the process first. You're going to be tested, you're going to be tried, you're going to watch it fail. You're going to
You're
watch
gonna
it not only for
cry.
the money,
You're
not
gonna
for
crawl on the
resources.
ground.
Listen, listen, but the fact that you won't give up on it,
Up.
the fact that
Mm,
you won't let it go, the fact that you won't let it die, trust me, that
mm.
means that it's a truly an authentic vision. It's something that you should be doing.
And let me tell you something. I laughing because I've been, I met a friend of mine when I hadn't seen her for a long time, and she asked me, Regina, what's going on with you? And I say, I'm working on my show. She said, that show you be telling me about from 1980s. She started laughing.
Wow.
She said, over 20, more than 20 years, Sharika, more than 20 years.
Wow.
And it
Wow.
has been, let me tell you, when I talk about crawling on the ground and kicking up and crying, and God, I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it. It's
Yeah.
funny because he used to be like, one time when I was working with a crew, and I used to go home from the studio crying. I called my girlfriend crying, girl, they ain't do this and they do that, and I paying them all this money. And my girlfriend say, she said, cry. And then when you finish crying, hush your mouth, and you gotta go back next week. That's the kind of
Wow.
that's the kind of persistence we talking about. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? And when you
You
get
won't let it die.
you can't, and it's not. I tell people all the time. For me, I took giving up off the table years ago. That even ain't an option for me. So whatever you see me put my hand to, I can succeed because I ain't giving up. That's not an option. When I do that, then what I can do?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else to do. And I
Mm-hmm.
want some persons in this season to get that in this environment that we're in right now. If you have children, if you're a woman and you have children, or you have a home, or you have any kind of responsibility, you gotta grit your teeth, and you gotta sink your heel in, and you
Yeah,
gotta be like, come with me, I can get through this.
absolutely.
Because there is an end to it. And I tell
Mm-hmm.
my children all the time, it could end bad or it could end good, but it can end. And at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, if you live through it ending, you will be just fine.
Wow.
So all you gotta do is just grit your teeth, sink your heel in, get Sharika's book, go and find out what it is you're meant to do, and stick to it. And you have no other choice but to succeed. Because God is a God of order.
Mm-hmm.
And once you're following his plan, he can come through for you.
You better believe that.
He's gonna come through.
Yes, he
Let's
will.
talk. Let's talk a little bit about you are. I love saying this. I love saying this. This just makes me so proud. You are an author. You are so much more than that. Tell people a little bit about all the things that you do, what your profession is, that sort of thing. Let's talk about that, and then we're going to get to the other part of it.
I'm also a certified public accountant.
There you go.
A lot of people don't know that about
I
me as
know.
well. So I've worked in the accounting and offshore banking arena for several years. So I'm also a certified public accountant. And people don't know that because the Sharika that they know is the speaker, the author, you
Yes.
know. So that's who people know. But by profession, I'm a CPA. day. And so, yep, that's what I do.
That's what she does.
I've taught it over the years. I've taught accounting. I've done a number of things in the field of accounting, but that is also an area of passion for me as well. It's something that I really love to do.
And see, the thing about it is the fact that you're not afraid to try what it is that you feel in your heart and in your spirit. But I think too that comes from, you said that you were going to conferences and all that kind of stuff. It came from investing in yourself and being in an environment where you could be built and groom and grow and to grow into it. Because I think that's really valuable right there.
Yeah, I always tell people, and this is what I always say to people. When I remembered when I finished university, the only thing I wanted to do was accounting. And so all of these things that you see me doing now, I had no clue that I had the capacity. I was shy. I was introverted. I was smart, but I never thought I'd be doing interviews, never thought I'd be doing any kind of public speaking because I was always kind of introverted. But what I'm saying is that and this is why I love the topic of purpose so much, because purpose pulled all of that out of me. And so I discovered
Anything.
that I wasn't just an accountant. Even though I am an accountant and I love being an accountant, that's not all I am. I am an author. I am a businesswoman. I am so many other things,
So many.
and so I don't like when people try to box me in
Try
at
me.
all. Because they tell you, stick to
Yes.
one thing. You don't want to
Mhm.
confuse people. Sorry. I feel if I've been gifted and graced with all of these things, listen, I've been given them to use them and serve them. And listen, I don't care who get confused. I am all of that. When you come to my page, when I come to my page, you may find some preaching. You're gonna find some inspirational words. You're gonna find my makeup on my page. Listen, because that's all of who I am. And
It
I
encompasses
encourage
who you
those.
are.
It's encompassing. And so I want to
Yes.
tell people, listen,
The
release
mirror.
all of that that's in you. Be who you are.
But see the thing. But see. But I see the joy in your face because you found that, and a lot of women, a lot of people don't have that joy because they don't have that. They have so much stuff bottled up in them that they can't even like express themselves the way we can. Because listen, I make earrings, I make jewelry when I feel like it. I
Wow.
I I could sit down and I could sew a suit tonight for tomorrow. All these things I'm capable of, and I've done all of them. I'm like, I do I had the first ever radio show on Joy FM. I wrote for, I was a reporter at the Tribune. Whatever I feel like
Wow.
whatever I feel like. If I lay down and I get up and I feel like, okay, let's give this a try. Like I tell people, I ain't scared to fail. If that ain't work, I feel like, okay, then let's don't do it that way no more, or let's try it another way. You don't have to be afraid to fail. All of us have failed at something, and that's not a
Yes.
bad thing. And then you just pick up, or you just go and you be like, okay, I did it this way. Maybe I need to tweak this a little bit, and you can get it done. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we have to encourage each other too as women. I saw a post on your page when you were saying something about the post went something like, if you're a woman that is talking about another woman, and well, how about talking about encouraging something to that effect. And when I saw that, I was like, well, that right there, because
Mm-hmm.
as women we have to now be each other's champion. We have
Yeah.
to,
Yeah.
Sharika,
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, we're supposed to be our brother's keeper. and
Mm-hmm.
and we have to now get to the place, just like you were saying earlier, about not being jealous of someone or being upset that the person is succeeding. I tell my girlfriends all the time, and anybody who knows me, if you need something from me, I give it that to you. I don't even care. And if no, because the thing is, if you succeed, I just be like, okay, mine coming next. God see her, I on that road, I coming next. That's how I
Right.
see it. I don't feel no way about anybody getting to the point, and it makes me proud when I see my girls doing stuff, and I'm like, you go get them, girl, knock them dead, And that's to me, I love. I have been blessed with some of the most amazing women that I know, that I get to deal with, that are doing phenomenal things. They're
Yeah.
like making waves and making changes, and that's just truly amazing to me,
Yes. Yes.
you
Yes.
know. But we're going to talk now about you being a minister of the gospel and liking lipsticks and doing all this fancy stuff. Let's jump over into that pool. Why don't we? Let's just jump. Let's talk about your ministerial position, please, ma'am.
Yes, I've been involved in ministry all my life. I grew up in church. My father is actually a pastor on the island. But I've been in church all my life. I've been involved in church ministry. I'll tell people from I was 5 years old. So that's over 30 something plus years in ministry. I've been serving. And so um, I I can tell you I really made a decision. I grew up in church, but I really made a decision to really sell out to God. And I think I was about 22 or so. And listen to me. I'll tell people there was no decision that has probably impacted my life like that decision to truly sell out to the Lord. And so,
Ain't nothing
you
like
know,
it.
I have a passion to really, really bring people into a relationship with the Lord, because I think that's where you find true fulfillment. And so I do
Hmm.
preach. And I know I'm a bit unorthodox. I don't fit the mold, because like you say, there are persons who feel like she is too glamorous. But
Mm.
you know one, I had a mother who was really into fashion. She always believed in a woman looking beautiful. And so I can't help that. She just believed that you should always be well kept, well dressed, well made up. She taught us to invest in our parents, and I don't see why that should take away from my spirituality. I believe that you should manage your appearance, especially when you're on public platforms and
Hmm.
stuff like
Yes.
that. But I
Yes.
don't think that should determine my witness and my effectiveness for God. I believe that God has put something in me to make a difference in the lives of other women. I believe that I've been called as an example to women. And I believe that I've been one who's been raised up to teach women that you can have it all, that you can do it all, that you don't have to choose. Because sometimes women feel like you could either just be a preacher, but you can't be a
Yeah.
businesswoman, or you
This woman.
can't be a career woman, or you can't be a
Mm.
mother, or you
Mm.
can't be a wife.
Mm.
But I believe that you know God has given us the opportunity to be all of these things. And I want women to just embrace the fullness, the wholeness of
Oh,
who they are. I want them to
yes.
be whole women, you
Yes.
know, be feminine women, and that's one of the
Yes.
reasons why I believe so much even in how we look, because our femininity is a part of our distinction as a woman. And so
Hmm.
I that's one of the reasons why I push the makeup line as well, because we need to be able to take care of ourselves, be well grown. Men look like you looking pretty,
Yeah. Of course.
you could be spiritual and you could be deep, but listen, you need to be nice on the eyes. I'm
That right
sorry.
there.
You need to be physically attractive.
Yes.
And not only do it for them, but listen, one of the things that I've realized, that nothing boosts your self-esteem than when you look good.
Mm.
When you know you look good, listen to me. Listen, you just feel better. I
Yes.
always tell people, on some of my worst days, I just make sure, I may have to struggle through, but I make sure I still
Still.
take care of my physical appearance, because it does something for you.
Yes,
When
it
you
does.
look good, you feel
Hmm.
good, man.
You feel.
And
Yes.
so I don't think it takes nothing away from my spirituality. People have an issue with it, but listen, I think the true essence of who you are is your character, is your
Mm.
spirit. And more than anything, I believe that as you invest in your relationship with God, as you spend time in prayer, as you spend time in the word, as you spend time in worship, and you allow him to conform him to his image and his likeness, listen,
Jesus.
you will become more like him, and that will just add to your beauty. And so listen, that's just who I am. And so I know, like, I do know that people think I'm a glamour girl, but hey,
It,
listen, they could tell you She loves the Lord. She really
The
loves it. She
more important than
loves,
everything else. More
listen,
important than everything else.
listen, and she loves serving his people. So you can't
Mm.
take that from me.
No matter
So
what.
no
No
matter
matter
what,
what.
no matter what.
The thing about it is I love I when I always knew that you because I knew when you got ordained. I
Mhm.
saw it and everything, and I was like, you might look at my girl. And I was like, now she can give them a run for their money. I was like, she can give them a run for their money. Let me tell you something, Sharika. One of the things that I love that you said is the fact that not because because see, we come from the old school where they think if you wear makeup or if you have fingernails and all that kind of stuff, it detracts from you serving God. But the one thing I always say is that my thing, it goes like this, and then it comes out like that. Because that's
Yes,
between me
yes,
and him, and then it comes
yes,
out to everybody else.
yes.
And when you could get this right, all this
Uh-huh.
here, all that, you got that down hands down. The thing,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to know it comes back, it goes right back to what we were saying earlier about knowing who you are, though. You realize
Mm-hmm.
that, right? About
Mm-hmm.
knowing from the book, knowing discovering me. Because once you discover you, ain't nobody could bring that to you. And even if they bring it, it doesn't matter because you understand why most of the time why they're bringing it. A lot of times it's because they're insecure in themselves and they have their own issues that they're not trying to perpetrate on you.
Yeah,
Um, you understand what I'm saying?
yeah.
Let's talk a little. You go ahead.
I don't have an issue. I think I have no problem with an attractive woman preaching the gospel. I don't think there's anything wrong with an attractive woman, a well-dressed, well-groomed woman. Now, what I would say is not appropriate is having all your breasts out too tight and all that other stuff. Now, those things that will really detract. But I don't think there's anything wrong with a woman who is well groomed and who takes care of herself well, um
Mm,
preaching the gospel. That doesn't take away from your
it
message.
doesn't.
um that doesn't take away from the purity of who you are. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, as long as it doesn't glorify you, I feel, as long as God is being lifted up
Lifted.
and glorified, because we don't want to be like the Pharisees and the Sadducees, whom Jesus said, you just like whitewashed tombs.
Mm,
You have all the form, but ain't
mm,
nothing to you.
nothing in there.
I believe that the most important thing, the true essence of a person, is their character. If
Yes.
you remember when Samuel was getting ready to choose the king, and he looked at Eliab, David's brother. When he looked at Eliab, David's brother, he looked at him from the outward appearance and say, "Well, hey, this the one." But God said, "I don't look at the things, or I don't consider the things men look
Think so.
at. I
Hmm.
consider the heart."
Heart
So
of a
while you
man.
may be
Yes.
getting on a glamorous girl or a beautiful woman, God even ain't considered that. He said, "You may not like the fact that she's wear lipstick, um, but I could trust her.
Yes.
But she
Yes.
got a pure heart. But she
Mm,
knows how to love. But she
mm,
knows how to forgive. But
mm,
she has a servant heart." And so I
mm.
think sometimes we major on what is minor to God.
Minor.
And so while I
Yes.
do believe in the concept of modesty and managing your parents on a platform, and even as you go out, there are sometimes I want to put on certain things, and the Holy Spirit would say to me, "Wear that when you with your family." And he had
Yes.
to teach me that coming up. He had to
Mm.
teach me. He had to groom me. With my appearance coming along the way. Sometimes we look at people and they're coming up in the faith, and we want to rebuke them, and we want to
Uh,
condemn them, and we want to judge them, but we don't want the Holy Spirit to do the
to
work
ju-
in them. Because
yes.
as I grew in my relationship with the Lord began to, he taught me, okay, don't wear that. Take that
Hmm.
off.
Hmm. Hmm.
You don't want nobody
Yes.
to get confused. And so,
Yes.
when I do certain things, I'm mindful of my witness. I'm
Yes.
mindful of how people
Yes.
will receive me as a woman. And
Hmm.
so there are times I don't think certain things are not appropriate. I just think, like, you ain't gonna wear a bathing suit on the pulpit, but if you go to the beach, what you gonna wear? A bathing suit. you know,
Yes. A
you
two-piece
don't go wear
bathing
your
suit.
long
Two
dress to
piece.
the
Two
beach.
piece.
So but I just believe that, I think we, as women, We need to be concerned about the right things. We need to be burdened about the right things. Um, um, yes, take care of yourself, be well groomed, be appropriate, be modest, but let's make sure that we're putting emphasis that women focus on the greater things, and that is having the right character, the right spirit, and the right heart.
And I agree with you 210%. And one of the things that I want to say, we're not saying here that you're to be perfect, because no one is. All of us have our stuff, because I got
Right.
mine. And at the end of the day, we're not saying you have to be perfect. We're not saying that at all. Because I know that I still have stuff that God's dealing with me with. And I thank him that he has brought me to a place in him that I am whole, and they're not the major things that used to be out there before. They're like smaller things now that he's now trying to get out of me, because there's some things that want to stay around, and you have to keep kicking it so you can get rid of it. It's like, you ever
Yeah.
see them things when they stick to you and you're trying to get them off and you
Yeah.
can't get them off. But
Yeah.
we're not trying to say that you have to be perfect, but what we are trying to say, and I'm sure Sherika could concur with this, is that you have to the best thing that you could do for yourself as a woman is to have a relationship with God.
Yeah.
You have to work on yourself. You have to work on yourself, because you can't be a whole woman if you don't do the work. And doing the work is hard. It's not an easy thing, because you have to put yourself on the table and look at the mess. You have to say, and I think we talked about this earlier. Why we keep picking the same person. No, I was talking to my girlfriend Maria Williams, who was on the show, who lives in Atlanta, this morning, and we were talking about why we keep picking the same person. Different skin, same human being. And it's
Yes.
things like that you now have to look in yourself, and you have to say, now listen, there's some crazy up in here, because I keep putting myself in these same situations, and I need to find out why I keep putting myself in these same situations.
And I think what we have to do as women, I think you have to be willing to do the work in all areas, because I think a lot of times we may be a little bit off balance. So we focus on our spirituality, but we
Hmm.
don't focus on our relational life. We don't try to grow in our relational life, and so we will experience a cycle, because
Mm,
we're not reading, we're not following our patterns.
mm,
We're not understanding why we choose the kind of people, and that was one of the things I also had to do, because I have another book, got it, but it's not published, it's sold out, and I'm redoing it, that we didn't talk about, and the book
okay.
was the principles and purpose of relationships, but I'm redoing, and it's going to be called The Best Choice, which the
Mm,
best choice, which talks about finding the relationships that fit you,
yes.
because a lot of times, because we don't know ourselves, and not only that, this let me even backtrack that, because we don't know God. um
First, first
when
and
you don't know
foremost.
God, you don't know
Mm,
how to pick the people who represent him,
mm,
because relationships really are the extensions of God to you in your life. They are God's
mm,
hands extended. That is how God releases what he needs to in our lives, through people. And
yes.
so relationships are really supposed to be an extension. I call them God's delivery agent of his blessings in our lives. And
Mm,
so, because you don't know what God looks like, you don't know how God sees you, you don't know how God thinks of
mm.
you, you don't know how God perceives you, you don't know how to recognize him when he shows up in people, and
So,
you don't know how to recognize when he's not at work in somebody. And
yes.
so, because you don't know that, and then not only that, I don't think we spend enough time with ourselves. Like, when you know yourself well and you've taken your time, guess what, this kind of personality
Sign it.
just make me
That
angry.
ain't it. Yes.
This ain't it. They can provoke me, they can get me out of character. And so,
Yes.
this is why we have to know purpose, and
Mm,
and then you need to know who can handle what you bring to the table, because
exactly.
there are some men out there, they can't handle a woman like me. They think I'm too much. um there are men out there, they don't like women who are too progressive.
Mm,
They don't like that. I mean, it's sad to say. Now, there are some who do, they love it, they
they love it.
celebrate it.
Hmm.
But you need to
Yes.
be able to identify those who can handle what you bring to the table,
Yes.
because not everybody can. And so, this is why, and you have to be willing to not dumb down, not to hide, not to discount who you are, because you know
Mm,
yourself. So
yes.
that's why I say you need to know God, and you need to know you, if you're going to choose
It's-
relationships. But how I got there, what I was saying is that we don't spend enough time developing all the other areas of our lives. So we need to develop ourselves physically. We need to invest in our physical bodies. We need to invest in our health. We need to invest in
Mental
our
health.
mind. We
Mm-hmm.
need to be reading. We
Mm-hmm.
need to be getting trained. It's so much.
Growing.
Like you said,
Mm.
listen, so much. And this
Yes.
is where the whole woman comes in, because I find like we go to extreme. We're either really very professional, or we're all in our
Lacking
families,
on the other side.
or
Yeah.
or
Two extremes.
yeah, we're just good wives and good mothers, but we're not anything else. But
Anything.
I
Yes.
think we could be holistic, if we
Mm.
allow ourselves to have the opportunity to do so. We can be holistic, you know.
And not only that, Sharika, if you find the right person, like we were talking about, if you could find the right person that is meant to doing the work with God, that is meant to complement you, they would allow you to be everything that you're supposed to be, because they understand their place and their purpose in your life. It's when we're
Absolutely.
out of sync with God that we go through the crazy all the time, because we keep doing things from our flesh and doing things from what we think and how we feel.
Yeah.
And again, when you talk about the relationship with God, people have to remember, a lot of times people do this. Oh, I have a relationship with God, but you ain't putting in the work. It goes right
Yeah.
back to doing the work. And you have to do, you go to work every day and you get paid a salary at the end of the week. Spending time with God, reading his word and doing what you need to do, worshiping him. He gives you a reward at the end of the day
Mm-hmm.
that gives you peace and gives you kindness and
Mm-hmm.
gives you love and protects you and guides you. And that's the pay for doing the work. And people
Mm-hmm.
don't want to do the work. Most pastors now say, not because I'm reading this word means that you don't go home and read it too. Because people
Right.
like when they go
Right.
read in church, they ain't coming home to read that because the pastor to
Right.
read that for them. And that don't
Right.
make no sense, because you have to build that relationship with God for yourself. And
Mm-hmm.
I find like 6 o'clock in the mornings when I wake up, it's like, boys, you're like, I feel like getting over now, Jesus. But because I want
Gotta
to,
get up.
yeah, but because I want to continue to build my prayer life and what I need to build with Him so that I can move in the way that He wants me to move, I have to get up and do that work. And it
And
doesn't matter what I miss in the evenings, because we ain't going nowhere anyway. COVID got us locked down. So,
your
so
pleasure.
you get to get up early in the morning and spend time with him, and by 7 o'clock you could be sleeping, because it ain't like you're going nowhere else. That's just something that you need to do to be able to grow your relationship with God. Then now you can look at a relationship with another human being. Because if you're broken, you're gonna pick what's broken.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's what we have to come to understand. We're
Mm-hmm.
going to take a break. Yeah, well, what I want to do right here is I want to take the opportunity. My friend Vanessa Ha has been nominated for several awards in the Texas Gospel Music Excellence Awards. Her and landlord, and
Awesome.
we're Bahamians, so we go Bahamians. I need you guys to go to this website. It's on the screen. I need you guys to go to this website and vote in all the categories for all the Bahamians that are there. I when I did it, I noticed that if you try to put two in the same category, it doesn't work. So you have to go in, I think, and vote for Vanessa, and then go back and vote for landlord in the category that he's in. So I want you guys to go ahead and do that, because both of them are my loves. I love both of them. They're amazing human beings. Landlord is one of the most awesome young men that I know, and I love him dearly. And Vanessa is my precious. And I want you guys to go in, whoever watched the show, when you come back to the space, go to the website and please watch the show and support our own. They're our own, and I think because it's an international platform, so let's show our Bahamian spirit by going in and voting for both of them. And there's another young lady there as well. I can't remember her name, but once you see Bahamas, as long as it says Bahamas, that's where you put your
Oh.
that's where you put your dot, because we're going in and we're supporting each other in this season, to help each other to grow. Now, I know both of them didn't know that I was going to do this, but I felt led to do that for them, because they're both amazing persons. They're on the battlefield for the Lord, and sometimes you feel lonely out there, feel like you're not getting any recognition or any support. I support both of you guys, and you guys be encouraged. And don't ever give up, Vanessa. I love you, and you be encouraged, my love. Sharika, you are amazing, absolutely amazing you are, and I love everything that you're doing. And we're going to do a giveaway now. I'm going to give anybody who remembers what Sharika says she does as a profession, her life profession, The first person to put that in the link will get one of Sherika's amazing lipsticks. I don't know if you saw the promo. If you haven't watched the promo, go back to the promo and you see all the beautiful colors that she had. Let them know what all the colors are, some of the colors that you have available now.
Oh gee. Okay, I'm wearing one now. But this one actually sold out yesterday. This one is a lure. This is probably one of the top sellers. It's actually
It's
my
pink, right?
favorite. Yeah, it's pink. Of course, you know I
Yeah.
love everything pink.
Yes.
We have a lure. We have something called desire. We have something called seduction. We have a color called kiss, deep, royalty, ignite. Listen, savage. Listen, I have
You
it
could.
all. So if you like nudes, I have them. If you like plums, I have them. If you like reds, I have them. If you like oranges, listen, whatever it is you like,
When
I
you
got it.
want.
Even the little purples, and I have a new color that's coming in. It's a beautiful green. Listen, that's coming
Wow.
right in time for the holidays. Y'all gonna love
Holidays.
this one. Listen, y'all are just gonna love it. But listen, I just love helping women to feel good about themselves through the makeup. So y'all check it out, Uptown Cosmetics. So we're giving one away. Whatever color they like, I'm willing to give it away.
Okay. Oh, somebody said they couldn't hear. Okay, I'm gonna say it again. Can you, the first person who can type in the chat, what Sharika says her profession is, what she went to college for, what she loves to do, in addition to all the other things that she does. It's unique. It's not the author. It's not her being an author, which she is. It's not her being a minister, which she is. It's not her being a makeup businesswoman. The first person that can type it in the chat will win the whichever color lipstick you and her agree to. Oh, well, see, there you go. Somebody was paying attention. They said a CPA, Nikita Shola Smith, is the winner
I
of
know.
is the winner of the first prize. Um, yeah, she's the winner of the first prize. So a couple people come in after, but she's the winner. Thank you so much for participating. We're going to do one more. I'm going to let Sharika tell you guys how to get her products first, and then we're going to do one more. Tell them how they can reach out to you to get the books, how to get if they want accounting services, if they want everything you got, you lay it on the line.
Okay. All right. So you can get the makeup products there online only. You can either hit me up, go to the Uptown Cosmetics page. You can also check out the website uptowncosmeticsonline.com. But once you get a message, we'll arrange delivery to you, whatever colors you want, whatever you like, once they're in stock. So that's Uptown Cosmetics. You can find the books, just both Discovering Me and Passion to Profits. You can find them on Amazon. They both can be found on Amazon. They're only on in Kindle format, so you can get them in the Kindle format. So you can get them there as well, and you can find me easily, Sherika Brown. Just hit me up on whatever it is that you need from me. Listen, I got you.
She can provide that. Even if you want to get married or you need a funeral, she does it all. Living or dead, she can handle all that. She can handle the majority of the things you need. But Sharika, it has been a sheer pleasure having you here with me. I don't I love, we've been supposed to do this before and everything got sidetracked, but nothing before it's time, right?
Nothing before it's time. Right
Nothing
back.
before it's time. Let me let you do this before we leave. I want you to take this opportunity to speak into the lives of women, the women that are on the platform, as well as the women who will come to the platform after the fact, because one of the things that I try to do when I do the show is try to always leave something, or I pray that they get something. If it's only one thing that can help to make their lives better, especially going through what we're going through, speak to the women about just how they can be encouraged, how they can go out and just be their best selves. You go ahead and however you feel led.
Okay, over the last few months, it's just been a very challenging time for everybody. It's just been a time of great change, and usually when we go through difficulties, when we go through hard times, one of the things that's affected is our sense of self-esteem and our sense of
Mm,
self-worth. Listen, a lot of
Yes.
women have lost money, lost jobs. You've been cut. Salaries have been cut. So many things have happened. Even relationships have been affected by this time.
Challenge.
But one of the things I am so passionate about and so burdened for is that we know our value. Um, I think it's so important that we as women know who we are. And so I want to encourage us, listen, invest in your relationship with God, spend time in
Mm,
prayer. As you get
yes.
to know God, you will get to know you, and learn how to appreciate you. And I want to say to you that no one will value you more than you value yourself. And
Mm,
so I want to say, set the standard of how you want people to treat you, and do not discount yourself, whatever it is. Listen, do not let anybody box you into the corner and tell you how you should show up, how you should perform. Listen, how you should be. Listen, if God has graced you with something special, whether it's an idea, whether it's something that you're good at, whether it's a knowledge, something that you're knowledgeable of, whatever it is, listen, I want to say to you, this is your time, this is your season to serve
mm.
what God has put on
If-
the inside of you. Listen, you are
yes.
necessary, you are needed, and listen, you are
Important,
valued.
valuable.
Listen,
Mm,
you are valued. You are necessary. You are needed, and you're valuable. And I believe that as we as women begin to truly really embrace what we are worth, and the investment that God has made in us. For many of us, God has made some significant investment
mm.
in us. And
Yes.
we allow people to devalue the investment God has made. And I want to say to you, do not allow anyone to devalue the investment that God has made in you. Whatever the investment that God has made in you, listen to me. Listen to me. Serve it, release it. Because not
Mm,
only is it going to enrich your life, it's going to bless your life. Um,
yes. Yes.
listen. Listen, whatever it is that God has given to you, it's going to bless others, but trust me, God has
Mm,
designed it to bless you. And so I want to say to you, be a woman of worth, be a woman of high value, be confident in who you are. Do not allow anybody to discount you. And first of all, you do not discount yourself. And I believe
yourself.
when we as women stop discounting ourselves, everything that God has prepared for us and everything that we deserve as women, we are
Mm.
going to get it. And so, women, be you, go after purpose, live it out to the fullness,
Empty.
die
Empty.
empty, release
And
it. Listen, if you're called to preach, preach. If you're called to write, write. If you're called to do business. If you're called to be a wife, be a wife, be a mother, be everything that God has put you on the earth to do, and do it without fear or
yeah,
intimidation. And
that's
that's
it.
my word for you. You can have it all, you can be it all, you can do it all with the grace and with the hand of the Lord working with you. And so go after it, women.
Listen, now you see why she's a minister. Cause I got goosebumps. I serious. I got goosebumps on my arm from that girl. You got this. I telling you. Listen, if you were here and you got that word and you don't know where to move, I'm sure Sharika can be reached if you need someone to speak to. If you feel like you're someone that needs some encouragement or some motivation, Sharika, give them a number. Like you give them. I mean, that's up to you. I don't know if you have a number or something where they can reach you to be able to get counseling if they need it or some kind of intervention if they're interested in having that done.
Yeah, they can reach me. I'll give them my email as well. You can reach me at Sherika, Sherika, Sherika at sherikabrown.com. And you can also reach me at 828-7907.
Thank you so much for being with me, Sharika. I thoroughly
Thank
enjoyed this, and
you.
I know we're going to be doing some stuff. We're going to do other stuff. This is just the beginning. I always love having women that know who they are and know where they're going. This show's called The Whole Woman for a reason. This name when I told Daddy Miles what the name God gave me for this for my company, he was like, oh. He's like, but be prepared to go down the road. And that for 20 years I've been down the road because I had to be, because God said to me he was not going to take me to the promised land until he took some stuff off me. because he didn't want me to
Mm-hmm.
mess up the lives of women. So believe me when I tell you, I've gone down the road. I'm like,
Right.
okay, God, take one today, come out for the next thing tomorrow, leave me alone today. That's the kind of stuff I've gone through, like real tearing of the take this off you, get this off you, to be able to sit here and say what I say. So when you hear me say the whole woman, that's because that's what I had to go through to come to this place. And I ain't totally whole yet, still working on it because it ain't finished yet.
Still
Every
coming into
day,
wholeness.
yeah, every day. Sherika, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Oh, we were supposed to give away one more
Yeah.
item. Okay.
What?
I,
They won't let you get that.
I'll be getting round in the passage down there. What is the name of the first Sharika's first book that we spoke about? The name of Sharika's first book that we spoke about. What was the name of the workbook that we spoke about? First person to drop it in the chat will be the winner. And everybody who wins, you can go ahead. You can leave your information so that I could be able to reach you, or we can hook up with Sharika to be able to make sure that you get your gift. My number is 449-0894. You can give me a call if you don't know how to reach Sharika. The first one of Sharika's book that we spoke about. We didn't talk about the eyeshadows. You're gonna have those in stock for the Christmas?
They're going to be in stock for the Christmas. All the eyeshadows sold out. I did a promotion, and listen, they cleaned up.
That's good.
But
That's
they'll be
awesome.
in for Thanksgiving, Christmas time.
Okay, everybody, if you look at the video that I did, the promo video with Sharika, you're going to see the amazing colors that she has. You can go over there and look at those colors. And if you want looking for eyeshadows or lipsticks for the Christmas, during the Christmas season, any color, because she got all the colors, you can reach out to her at the addresses that she gave earlier. Okay, Wendy Aubrey is the winner of the second giveaway.
Yay,
No,
Wendy!
no, that's not. Okay, we're gonna let you. Oh no, that's not it. Somebody else. She said it. No, Nyoka, I'm sorry. That's not it. Wendy.
Nyoka, I'll give Nyoka a lipstick as well. Wendy, we talked about discovering me first, correct?
Yes.
But my first book is really the principles and purpose of
Oh,
relationships.
yeah.
So,
She's both of them. We're gonna make both of them winners. How about that?
I'll make you both winners.
Yes, both of you will win. So you can give me a call, and if you know Sharika, you can reach out to Sharika and let her know you won from the show. Sharika,
Yes.
Thank you, my love. Thank you for being with me. I appreciate you, and I look forward to having you with me again. Thank you so much,
Regina.
and continue to be the most amazing woman that you are.
Thank
Love you.
Thank you, ladies.
Everybody, the show will be here again next week, Tuesday at 1 p.m. on the dot. I am here every Tuesday. Thank you guys for showing up and supporting me each week. I am grateful to you guys for that. I need you to go to my Facebook page and hit like, and I need you to go over to my YouTube channel and sign up over there. And you can go to my website, thewholewoman.tv, and you can subscribe and become a member of my mailing list, and you will be getting goodies from that mailing list. So go ahead and reach over there and do that for me. I appreciate you guys. I'll see you next week, Tuesday at 1 p.m. Bye, everybody.
You always going so fast, burning it up. You got you running like that, right past what you want. So do like I do, and move like I move. Feel that magic down in your shoes. That's why I'm walking like this. That's why I'm walking like this. Yeah. You always moving so fast, breaking your neck. You've been running so far, but you ain't got there yet. So do what I do.